For this That Was the Team That Was video, I've travelled back into the 80s and to the starting 11 of the 1984-85 vintage. Remember, this is about the season's starting 11, which is usually judged by the most games played individually, but not necessarily. After a solid 4th place finish the season before, with the highlight of a European comeback against Maradona's Barcelona, United were again fighting on 4 fronts: the First Division, the FA Cup, the League Cup and the UEFA Cup, over a 60-match campaign. But remember, this is not about the review of the season. I've done that already, link in the description. This is about the players who made up the starting 11 that campaign. Between the sticks, Gary Bailey was tall, muscular and athletic, and more than capable of making saves worthy of prime Schmeichel or Van der Sar. However, his clear narcissism wasn't everyone's cup of tea, and a bit of humility would have suited him better, but maybe that's an essential part of a keeper's makeup. Anyway, you couldn't deny his contribution. Right back Mick Duxbury was involved in as many games as John Gidman this season, albeit he started a few less. That said, I always felt he was the better option, and so gets the nod despite only coming on as sub in the cup final. On the other side, in general, Arthur Albiston is one of the great United servants, and was a very fine fullback. The Scot played the most matches of anyone at Old Trafford this season, and was a consistent performer. Big Norman Whiteside was a prodigy and undoubted hero of the season. He only turned 20 10 days before the cup final, but this teenager had been playing like a grown man for years. Switching between midfield and attack, he earned himself a hat-trick versus West Ham in the cup quarter-final and scored one of the best ever strikes for the winner in the final itself. At centre-back, Big Paul McGrath oozed class whilst at the same time being as tough as nails. Not only was he comfortable on the ball and composed at the back, he could also cause trouble in the opponent's area, popping up with a goal or two. Graeme Hogg was Big Ron's first choice at centre-back, starting far more matches than Kevin Moran or even Paul McGrath, so he gets the nod over one of my favourites, Kevin Moran. As usual, skipper Bryan Robson was inspirational and invaluable to United, and we clearly suffered when he got injured and was out of the team. He lifted his second FA Cup in the final, and most of the time was as good as any midfielder in Europe, drawing offers from a slew of clubs. Creative and charismatic, Gordon Strachan had been signed from Aberdeen in the summer, and ended up playing the second most number of matches, 56. He scored 19 goals, the second highest total, albeit 9k from the spot, but he also missed several too, meaning Whiteside took over the responsibility towards the end of the season. Striker Mark Hughes had really come into his own this season, playing all but 5 matches and being the club's top scorer with 24 goals. He had great strength and a deft touch, all of this earning him the PFA Young Player of the Year award. He also provided a pass to Norman Whiteside for the cup final winner. Frank Stapleton was rotated with Alan Brazil, which didn't help his consistency. He still managed to score 9 goals and in my opinion was the superior choice to Brazil, despite the Scots' better goals to game ratio. With the sending of Kevin Moran in the cup final, Stapleton produced a heroic and oft overlooked performance as a replacement centre-back for a lot of the game, which no doubt helped us get over the line. Jesper Olsen, bought alongside Gordon Strachan and Alan Brazil in the summer, was an instant fan favourite with a lot of technical ability. He was one of Big Ron's first choices and did provide goals, but his return of 6 himself in 50 games seems a bit light to me. I don't usually do this, but there are a couple of honourable mentions. The aforementioned John Gidman, who I bumped for Mick Duxbury, played 40 games in the season and started the cup final. Kevin Moran, sent off in the cup final with the heart of a warrior, was out injured for most of the season. Remy Moses made more starts than Whiteside, but injuries in the Ulsterman's cup final goal gave him the nod. So that was the first 11 for That Was the Team That Was 1984-85. What are your memories of the season, and would you have made any changes? Please write in the comments below and like, share and subscribe. Thank you as always for your support.